Aging Aitken Robertson to courtroom number 2. The jury is back with a verdict. Members of the jury, how do you find the accused? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty on all accounts, Your Honor.
Welcome to Legally Speaking, brought to you by Aitken Robertson Criminal Defense. I'm your host, Melanie Van Orde, licensed paralegal and dedicated to exploring key legal topics and offering valuable insights. So today we are focusing on legal aid, a critical resource for those in need of legal assistance. Joining us today is Dawn Quelch, a criminal defense lawyer from Burford Law, who will share her knowledge and experience regarding legal aid services. So stay tuned as we delve into this very important topic with Dawn. Let's get started. Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Mel. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. And you?
Great, thank you.
Well, Dawn, can you give us a little bit of an idea of what is legal aid?
So legal aid is a program that's funded by, I guess at the top line, the Ministry of the Attorney General. It is its own agency with its own rules and criteria. Most of the legal aid services fall into one of two categories in the province of Ontario. One is certificate representation and the other is duty counsel representation. Now, certificate representation means that a practicing lawyer in the field of criminal law is assigned carriage of your matter and would be your lawyer, but the government would pick up the tab for all of your legal fees and expenses. Now, duty counsel representation is same day representation before the court. They aren't someone who would help you prepare necessarily in advance for a court date. And often they assist privately retained lawyers by speaking to matters or by assisting clients at their very first court appearance before they've had an opportunity to necessarily retain counsel.
Well, and then you sort of touch upon the certificate part of representation by legal aid. How does that work? What happens first? Do you first retain a lawyer or do you first get a certificate?
So lawyers who wish to accept legal aid certificates roster with the Legal Aid Ontario program. They engage in a certain amount of professional development and skills training specifically for legal aid representation. So not every lawyer in Ontario accepts legal aid. The second piece is that legal aid services are only available to those who fit certain criteria. And now some of that criteria is related to finances. Legal aid is intended to assist those who do not have the capacity to retain a lawyer because of their own economic situation. The other piece of criteria for legal aid eligibility is the seriousness of the charges. Obviously, the government has a finite pool of resources to provide subsidization of legal expenses, and they narrow who those services are available to by restricting certificates to where the Crown is taking a position where the individual, if convicted, faces a prospect of being incarcerated and losing their liberty, going to jail.
And then, so if I qualify for one of those, if I qualify under those two requirements, so do I go and see a lawyer? How does that part of the process work?
At the point where you're given, when you make your first application, and legal aid applications can be made by telephone by calling a 1-800 number that's easily findable on Google. There's also an online application form, and at certain locations, a few jails and some courthouses, you can also still make an in-person application for legal aid. Upon making that application, you're given a client number and it begins with the letter CLT. If you are deemed eligible, you'll then be given a certificate number, which begins with CE. And with those two numbers, you can contact any lawyer in the province and ask if they take legal aid. If in fact they do, they will likely ask you for those numbers to confirm that you're eligible. And then you would proceed very much the way you would with a privately retained lawyer. However, there are limitations. When a lawyer accepts a certificate, they agree to legal aid's terms of service. That means that certain applications or motions, for example, charter applications, need to be pre-approved by legal aid. They need to be satisfied that there is a reasonable degree of success. And usually they use a test, would a person of modest means spend their own limited funds on that endeavor? And so if you do have a legal aid lawyer, there are some limits to what they'll be able to do on your behalf. The overall goal is to ensure that the person who's being represented by a legal aid lawyer gets a fair trial. But you're always going to have far more control over the process, and the lawyer is going to have far more freedom if they're privately retained.
Well, thank you so much, Dawn, for sharing your words of wisdom with us and your experience in legal aid. And thank you to everyone else for joining us today at the Aitken Robertson YouTube channel. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, take care. Thank you for tuning in to Legally Speaking, proudly brought to you by Aitken Robertson Criminal Defence. We represent clients facing criminal charges all over Ontario, providing you with legal support and dedicated advocacy. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more content, please like and subscribe to our channel. For more information, visit our website. We also offer free books on various types of criminal charges, which you can request on our website or by using the QR codes on your screen now. For legal assistance, call us today or visit our website to request a meeting with one of our experienced lawyers or licensed paralegals. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Legally Speaking.